This is an interview with J. Krishnamurti by Fred Volz in Ojai, California, 1972.
You first came to Ojai many years ago, and you've stayed here for periods of time since then. What are your personal feelings about the valley?
So I came here first with my brother in 1922. And we lived some time here. We came from England via India, Australia. We lived in that little cottage. And the contrast was enormous. We came in July, I think it was. The dryness, the heat, the dust. But we liked it enormously because the mountains. I've been practically almost on all these mountains, on all these trails. I've been up to Topa, Old Chief, all down here. And I stayed here during the war. And I've been off and on, treating this as a kind of my home. Because I go to India and I stay there, that's also, they have put a place at my disposal, it's also my home. I stay in England, but this is one of the most beautiful valleys I've seen, because I've been to Kashmir, and I've been to Switzerland, I've been to different parts of the Europe, to Pyrenees, and various mountains in India. This has got an extraordinary charm which I don't think other places have. It's extraordinarily quiet at night. Wild. And I used to see deer up there, bears. I walked behind once bobcat, several miles. The wind was blowing from him to me, so he didn't smell me at all. So we walked over several miles down. He was rubbing himself, enjoying himself. I don't know if they exist now. They must have, I don't know.
Rare.
Just
occasionally I see one. Very occasionally.
I used
a flash.
And I see rattlers and deer and bobcat. Oh, I've seen several times big bear, brown bears, marvelous. And somehow I like this place enormously. But I see since the war, it's gradually being spoiled. I hear they want to put a freeway through on that very end of this valley. And I see also they want to develop various parts here. A tourist resort, and I'm afraid they'll spoil it. I suppose this is what's happening all over the world. Where there's a beautiful spot, they want to destroy it. Commercially, exploit it touristically, for economic purpose. This is going on. I know a place in India which was a beautiful place. Overpopulation. Get rich quick, the whole. I stay as a guest in front of Mrs. I stay with Mrs. Simplist in Malibu, and they're destroying that whole hill. Terrible.
Well, you've answered the first three of my questions here. I was going to say you saw Ojai then, and you see what's happening now. And I was also going to ask you what exceptional qualities Ojai
I think
had,
so,
say, in the 30s, and that it does not have now.
Oh,
the
I think this end has still got it,
east end.
east end. Because I can go out for a walk on those hills and I need to see nobody. In those days I used to go miles and miles out. And now it's gradually being pushed up and up and up. It's going to be destroyed unless you all stand,
Well, do you see any change in the way it's going now? Or is it gradually the land is going to be used and gone?
I'm afraid so.
You don't see a change? You don't
What
think
do you
there's
mean
anything
change?
that we could do to change this? Do you see it?
I suppose, I don't know, the government or people here, can't they get all together and say, let's stop, keep this as it was, as one place in California, you follow? Not completely wiped out.
Well, there's always the economic motives, which seem to
Get money.
move things in
So that's
America.
I don't know if you read MIT specialists issued a statement that the way we are going now in America and the rest of the world by
In 70 years.
In 70 years, that's right. Yeah. Overpopulation, everything is going to, man is going to be destroyed. Unless there is, everybody has to stop now.
There have been some encouraging things recently. Here, for example, a meditation group located just up here,
Yeah.
and are very happy up there. There are the private schools who have come in here and who are doing well.
Which is it?
Happy Valley and Ojai Valley, and the Villanova School, the Catholic school, and so there's been a move in that direction of people coming here to, first of all, to build schools and then to have them expand. Do you see anything along those lines happening here? Is it possible? Is
So talking about
Theosophist movement possible? Is it possible to...
talking about Happy Valley, you know something of it?
No, I don't.
We came here in 1922. In 1927, Dr. Besant and we came. My brother died here before that, and we came here. The Happy Valley Foundation, she started it. She bought land, mortgage, and all the rest of it. And she bought it for one purpose, that, I don't want to be personal, but that the teachings which Kay was giving would bring about a different group of people, and Happy Valley, that land, was to be used for that. And now it's gone to other people's hands, and unfortunately. But schools, if there are a great many schools here, what will happen? Can they maintain themselves? Thatcher School has been here for 60 years, 70 years. The others are newcomers. Can they maintain private schools, as they're called, public schools in England?
I think they come here because of the very reason
Or the beauty
you and I come here. It's because it's a beautiful, quiet, peaceful place, conducive to study,
But
meditation.
I believe private schools are suffering a great deal.
They are. That's true.
You see, I used to talk practically every year at the other end. many people came, and we began with having camps and all that thing gradually, with all the difficulties that has risen since then. I haven't been here practically since 1960. But I'm going to come every year hereafter. See, things will change. But can this peace and quiet and serious people come and maintain this atmosphere, this kind of beauty of the land, or is it all going to be destroyed?
Well, I think a lot of us are asking that question now. We're asking ourselves that question. I'm not so sure that it's good for the economy of the valley to have more houses, more roads. I don't think it is.
No.
I think that if we really examine that, we'll find it's just the opposite. The very reasons we came here will be destroyed.
But then how will
We
you
don't have
prevent
any-
the others destroying it?
I think we'll just have to say no. I think that the government here will have to say no, that the East End will have to stay in oranges. After all, this is our economy here, oranges. This is agriculture. And the mountains up here are the Forest Service. I think that
And all the orchards? And
the orchards should stay. And I thought at one time of writing to our congressman and proposing this as a park, as a national park. Like Yosemite.
Whole valley.
Yeah, like Yosemite, like Yellowstone.
Yes, sir.
That should be
Do you think they
preserved
would allow
forever.
it?
Pardon?
Do you think they would allow it?
Well, there's many, many places. That the list of proposed national parks are long now. A very beautiful place north of San Francisco, where I had a newspaper in Marin County, is the newest national park.
Oh.
And it's a strip of seashore, original seashore, native grasses and sand. It's never been developed. It's been in the hands of one family ever since the Spaniards were there. And this is the newest national park. Point Reyes National Park, it's called. Now, the Napa Valley, the great vineyards of the Napa Valley, they have made that into what they call a national monument, which prevents any
For the building.
change in the valley. It's not a park, but it's a national monument. And it's a valley, I don't think it's as beautiful as this. Have you ever been there, Tim? It's up north of San Francisco. It's a wine country. Yes. Beautiful vineyards and lovely hills.
So
forests.
we've got a school in England, in Hampshire. There was a building, probably historical building. K Foundation owns it. And we started a school there. You can't build new houses. You can improve old houses or pull down old houses but build on the same foundation. And you have to get permission from a planning committee to build anything at all. And we wanted to build, we were going to build for about 40 people. And it took 6 months to get permission. They examined why you wanted, and it's just within an hour from London by train. Beautiful place, and they said, we're not going to destroy this.
It's a whole area is protected. It's a big area.
I think that's what happened initially to our great national parks, to Yosemite and to Yellowstone. I think someone said, we're not going to, John Muir in particular, in the Sierras, we're not going to destroy this. This has to be kept. And they brought the government officials there, and they said, it's beautiful. It has to be kept.
Can't this be done? Can't one do it here?
I think one of the problems, and we were just talking about this, it's a beautiful day outside, and I've said that many times this spring. It's an exceptional day. It's so beautiful. And that you live here and that you think maybe the whole world is like this.
It is.
It's not.
But what, can't it be maintained, sir? Government influence, all the machinery of...
Well, let me say this, that I'm much more optimistic now than I was last year and the year before, as far as Ojai Valley is concerned.
Okay.
I think that finally the people who are in charge are getting the message from all of us down below that we don't want this to change, that we don't want more shopping centers and more tracts of houses. We want to keep what's left.
Yes, I see an aureole there. There.
What do you think that the citizens here could do? Do you have any idea? What could they do?
So, what is happening in the world, of course. The citizens are responsible for destroying the world. I used to go to India, except this winter. Every winter. I spent 5 to 6 months. Now I've reduced 3 months. And you have no idea how it's being destroyed. In Bombay, people are sleeping on pavements. Thousands of them, not just... And they have little, I don't know what, and they tie it on the tree, and under the tree they sleep. And the villages are being destroyed. Every year, I believe, 12 to 15 million are born. You understand? And the death rate is low, is not so great as the birth rate. So it's good. And citizens are responsible for all this, human beings. Why can't they stop it? Here in this valley, if all of you, I must say, if all of you met and said, look, for God's sake, let's preserve this place. One place which is not being destroyed in America. Do you think there are such serious people here? Serious in the sense, not only economically well established or have their roots in the valley, but seriously minded people who say, look, let's maintain this atmosphere, this quietness, this beauty, this sense of otherness, you know what I mean? Not with all the wrangles of the Catholic, the Protestant, the Communist, social. Do you think there are such people here?
Yes, I think so. And I know you'll agree with me on that. There's many, many, many people of all political and religious affiliations who feel exactly the way we do. Recently, a committee to preserve the Ojai was formed, and they have 400 or 500 members, and they're seeking to influence the kind of people who get elected, and they're working to defeat shopping centers and that sort of thing. They're working in a very practical way, and their numbers are growing, and more and more people feel sympathy towards them and actually give money. So it's happening here, but it's got to happen fast. I mean, we just can't wait. It has to happen fast. There has to be a change in thinking. We have to realize that open space out there is valuable. It's the most valuable thing we have. Of course, I write about this in a lecture about it all the time to the people of, I don't know how much attention it pays. Nothing much seems to happen. But I like you saying that.
You know, sir, in India and Greeks and the other civilizations, when they found a beautiful spot like this, they put a temple. You won't say not Christian temple or Buddhist temple, a temple. A thing that was beautiful and remained sacred because of the beauty of that's why I go to a school in South India. I spend there about 3 weeks talking to children and so on. And as you enter there, on the hill there is a temple. And the feeling you enter with it's a sacred place. Be quiet, be nice, be gentle, be pleasant to your neighbor, don't kill, don't hurt. All that atmosphere makes for beauty. Just to have, few schools or few monuments is not going to make for beauty.
Do you think that Americans are different than other people?
Little bit. They got much more energy. They are pleasure seekers. They are fleetingly serious. Like everybody else. But here, the affluent society has helped them to become more superficial. I've never seen a race like this that want to, they can't sit quiet, out. Go to the lake, climb the mountains, go off guided hikes. And they can't be by themselves. One year, I was walking right up there, and I was standing looking at the sunset and seeing the beauty of the land and the sea. I could see beyond the Sulphur Mountain, the sea, and looking at the sunset. And then a man came down on horseback. I was standing very still. He said, "What the hell are you standing so still for?" And I said, "Isn't it beautiful, He looked at me. "Oh," he said, "you are that Christ child."
That was many years ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. A Thatcher teacher, you think?
No, he was just a farmer or someone coming down here. Now I wonder, sir, if in Ojai, that's what I feel, people who are serious and treat this valley as a sacred place, not as a commercial center. I don't know if I'm making... A sacred place becomes beautiful. More beautiful than then you create an atmosphere, then you create, people then want to come here and be quiet, be restful, thoughtful, serious.
You don't see any formal change. You don't see any formal, people coming here. I hesitate to use the word church, but to form this is a religious center or a spiritual center in the practical sense of the word.
And for me it is. I feel it that way. You see, sir, there is in England we've got a place like this. A school, ordinary school, but people who come there, serious people, treated as I hate to use the word sacred, it's a serious place. In India too, in the north, unless you have these spots where people are really, you're going to destroy the world. Sir, you've heard of the river Ganges in India. We have got a school there on the banks of it. And it is very, very old. They have found a statue by digging in the garden which was 6th century. And before that, the Buddha, 500 BC. And therefore there's a tremendous sense of atmosphere. Here, it's dissipated, you know. I was talking the other day to Mr. Waters, you know him?
No, I don't.
Frank Waters.
Frank Waters. He writes on Indian, Southwest Indian.
He does.
He's great in publishing.
And he was saying that's what's happened. The Indians, American Indians, feel land is sacred. And the sky is sacred. Therefore keep it clean, keep it unpolluted. Here, there isn't that core feeling for the earth.
Yes, we're supposed to conquer nature. It says so in the Bible.
Why? Yes.
It says so.
You see, in the East, there is this feeling for respect for the earth, respect for animals, though they kill them, but there is respect. Here, I mean, if it's a good earth, let's, grow oranges, put a factory, use it, exploit it, tell it to people. There's that enormous vitality, you see, which is marvelous, but, it has its right place.
Will they borrow your tape later?
It's what happened to yours.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, anyway.
I suppose, sir, you have been over all these hills.
Yes, I love to walk. And both my wife and I, and my family too, they're growing up a little now. And we just walk all the time. Walk almost every day. I've seen you walking up and down here many times.
I left, one day I walked from that end right over along, going over the hills and that. There used to be a path. I wonder if there is still.
Where? I don't know where you mean.
All along the hill, foothill, all along down.
Yes, yes.
It's still there?
It's still there.
Oh.
Yes. Not many people take it.
No.
And it's hard to get to from this end. It's easy to get to from that end.
Yes. I got
you
that
go down
end.
Gridley Road and you walk around and come up that way.
No, I didn't go Gridley Road. Right down, further down, where Mr. What's his name? Used to live, Colonel Reagan.
Oh, Colonel Reagan.
From there, that way I walked up.
I found some marvelous trails up and back of Thatcher School.
That's
So the
it.
Thatcher horse trails, some of those are just wonderful. Up beyond the polo field,
Yes,
up beyond the
yes,
horse
that's
field, and
right.
then go on up the hill, and then they go off from there, and they keep on going up, way on,
Yes.
back into country that very few people ever get to. It's
I
very
was walking there one day and I met a Brahman bone. I was so surprised to see it there, Yeah.
Really?
Up around down there. Probably they're breeding,
Yes.
cattle down there.
The most exciting thing that I've seen is I had a dog then, and we were walking along the trail, and the Senior Canyon Trail, which is closed to the public. But we were walking along, and suddenly the dog bristled. Hair came up on the back, and with that, a mountain lion jumped out and started up a bank that went up for 100 or 200 feet. Very steep, quite steep. And the mountain lion was making this in big bounds, and my dog was running after it, and the mountain lion would go 10 feet, and my dog would go a foot. It was just and this beautiful animal, long and gorgeous colors, in motion up this bank, and I just watched it for maybe a minute going up. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
How long ago?
That was about 4 or 5 years ago.
So maybe
Yeah.
still there.
No, they're there. Yes.
They're still here.
Yes, sure. You talk about deer. I don't see many deer anymore, though.
Oh, I've seen them.
I don't know why.
I've seen them at the house come by.
Have you?
Oh, yes, in the old days.
Something's wrong. I don't see any deer.
I've seen foxes here.
Foxes, I think, are still here.
Oh, great many coyotes.
Coyotes, you hear them at night. Still hear them at night once in a while. But you were here a marvelous day. It wasn't so long ago that grizzly bears roamed the valley. Some of the early ranchers who are here now have heard their fathers or their grandfathers talk about the grizzly bears who used to roam.
Oh my God.
And grizzly bears, yes. And elk, tremendous animals. I'm anxious to see whether this plays.
I only go to places like Switzerland where the people can come. I'm here to gradually make this.
Sounds like you're more active than ever. Oh, I talk too loud. I'm too much.
Sir, talking about wild animals, I was in north of Delhi, and a man came to say, look, the tiger has killed a cow or something like that. Do you want to see it? I said, of course I want to see it. He said, we'll build a platform on a tree, and you will tie a goat. I said, no, don't kill a goat for my pleasure. So I said, I let them go. In the afternoon I went out into the forest by myself. Sir, I never saw it, but it was all round with all the birds and everything was completely quiet. And you know when there is danger, there is this. Everything is quiet. I never saw it. It must have seen me. And I've seen monkeys, you know, those big monkeys are about that high, black face, grey, long curving tail, beautiful animals. Probably about 100 of them all around the tree, in the trees, absolutely silent, watching.
That owl story, that was marvelous.
Oh yes, in Benares I was asleep with window open, and I wake up with a fluttering noise, and I say, where is the bird? So I switch on the light, got out of my bed, and I look all around, there isn't anything. Then I look under the bed, there was an owl about that high, big owl. We were about 2 or 3 feet apart, staring at it. It was a little enormous thing, wild. And then I switch on, got into bed, switch on and throw. And also, I must tell you, this is fun. I was doing yoga exercise, and I see a shadow in the window. And I open my eyes, and there is a monkey of this black. It looks at me, I look at it. And I come quite close. It stretches, a wild monkey, sir, stretches out its hand, and I hold its hand. And its hand was little rough, very soft, beautifully soft. And he wanted to come inside. I said, no, please, not today, not today, because I had Salathe. Otherwise, if I was, if I had time and so on, I said, come and sit. It was really marvelous.
Well, thank you very much for
Yes, sir.
It's been a real pleasure.